Anakin Skywalker's upbringing and time spent as a slave on Tatooine was significant in his eventual turn to the dark side of the Force. It managed to shape his unique perspective on freedom, injustice, and the nature of power, which ultimately influenced his choices as a Jedi Knight and later as the Sith Lord Darth Vader. In the second issue of the Legacy of Vader comic, Kylo Ren goes to Tatooine to learn about his grandfather's life and discovers that Anakin Skywalker was born a slave. Let's get right into it. As Kylo and Vinay walk through the streets of Mos Espa, Kylo asks Vinay why were they here, calling Tatooine a nowhere planet. Vinay assured the young man that Tatooine was very important to Vader, and therefore it was important to his grandson as well. Kylo doubted Vinay's words that a desert planet such as Tatooine would matter to the Sith Lord Darth Vader, remarking that both his grandfather Anakin and his uncle Luke left Tatooine as soon as they could. Attempting to still convince Kylo of the truth, Vinay told him that Tatooine is a remote planet, but to suggest that it did not matter to Vader was incorrect. Vinay informed Kylo that Tatooine is in fact the place where Anakin Skywalker experienced multiple significant events. It is where he met the woman who would become his wife. It is where he was recruited into the Jedi Order by Qui-Gon Jinn, and where he had lost his mother Shmi. But most importantly, Tatooine is the place where Anakin Skywalker took the pain of the loss of his mother and first used it to access the dark side of the Force. It is where Anakin felt the true and immense power of the dark side. Since Kylo did not know this, Vinay continued saying that Darth Vader was not forged solely in the fires of Mustafar after his defeat to Obi-Wan Kenobi. The scorched sands of Tatooine played their role in molding Vader as well. Just as he had told Kylo at Vader's castle on Mustafar, Darth Vader's past was his fuel. He was an inferno. He warned Kylo not to dismiss Tatooine so easily, stating that without this backwater planet, he would not exist, nor would Vader. Looking curiously at Vinay, Kylo asked, "How do you know these things?" "Because his master, Emperor Palpatine, did," Vinay said. Throughout the years, Vader told Palpatine many things and confided in him. Palpatine used those intimacies to shape Anakin Skywalker into the powerful weapon he was meant to be. And then Palpatine used him too, Kylo said. Vinay agreed to Kylo's statement, but believed it was for the benefit of Vader. He then revealed to Kylo how he knows so much about his grandfather and his past. After the sudden deaths of Palpatine and Darth Vader, Vinay had used Kylo's grandfather's security codes to access Palpatine's secure files. The Emperor kept meticulous records in which Vinay believed it was a key to his success. Vinay was then able to learn much about Vader's life, and his eyes were opened to the beauty of his path, and more importantly, his struggle. Vinay told Kylo that he would share these stories with him so that he might find his way. Darth Vader's path could be his as well. He asked Kylo Ren to follow him, saying that there was much to see on this backwater planet. As the two reached an abandoned facility, Kylo asked what was this place. Vinay responded, saying that it was the Grand Arena of Mos Espa. This was the place of Anakin Skywalker's earliest triumphs. Vinay continued stating that Kylo's grandfather was great from the day he was born. Even as a child, Anakin's power was apparent. Pointing to an engraved name, Vinay informed Kylo that according to his research, only one human being has ever won the Boonta Eve Classic, Anakin Skywalker. He did this entirely without training. Anakin was just 9 years old, and still a slave. With a profound and confusing look, Kylo asked Vinay, "What did he just say?" "Yes," Vinay replied. Anakin Skywalker and his mother Shmi were both slaves. Still trying to make sense of this revelation, Kylo responded, saying that Anakin joined the Jedi Order. "He did join the Order," Vinay calmly replied. The Jedi took Anakin from Tatooine once they understood the scope of his power, but the Jedi did not take his mother. Shmi Skywalker was left in bondage to find her own way without the assistance of the Jedi or the Republic. "Of course they did," Kylo snarled. "Yes, but do you not see? From the very beginning, Darth Vader's life was a struggle and a crucible, unending toil, an existence in chains," Vinay said. "It was what Vader rose above, the blade in his soul, slicing away all that held him back, so that he might rise to greatness and power." Vinay was certain that the grandson of Vader could relate. He guessed that from Kylo's earliest days, he too walked a path of pain. Inside his head, Kylo's mind is flooded with joyful memories of his past and childhood. Dinner with the entire Solo and Skywalker family, sitting in the Falcon with his father Han, riding on the back of his uncle Chewbacca. All memories contained not a single ounce of pain, but happiness and light. Lying to Vinay and himself, Kylo told him that of course his path was full of pain, just as Darth Vader's was. A voice came from behind them as three strangers approached and referenced the fact that Kylo was looking at the winner list and boasted that Anakin Skywalker was the only human to win the big race. The other person said they had heard the name Skywalker a lot more recently. The third stranger referenced the Battle of Crate, where he stated that the word was Luke Skywalker took out an entire First Order fleet by himself. Suddenly, all three of the locals pulled blasters on Kylo and attempted to rob him, with the middle assailant ordering Kylo to keep his hands up and away from his weapons. "These hands," Kylo said snarkily, "these hands are weapons." Using the Force, Kylo made two of the thieves point their blasters at each other, and both were killed before anything could be done. Kylo ignited his crossguard lightsaber and told the last surviving attacker to spread the word and not talk about Luke Skywalker. Talking about Luke Skywalker could get someone killed. As Kylo's saber slid across the etched name of Anakin Skywalker, he asked Vinay for a name, the person who owned his grandfather. As Kylo and Vinay arrived at a derelict building, Vinay assured Kylo that this was the shop of Watto, who was his grandfather's final owner, telling him that Watto was a Tordarian junk dealer. In his mind, Kylo believed that his grandfather Vader must have returned to Watto's shop and taken his revenge. But surprising enough to Kylo, Vinay told him that Vader did not kill Watto, and that his grandfather was focused on other tasks at hand. Vinay also added that Watto was not Anakin Skywalker's only owner when he was a slave. Watto acquired Anakin from a Hutt named Gardulla, Vinay continued. She still lives in a fortress in the desert wastelands. Unhappy with the recent revelations of his grandfather, Kylo stated that this should not be the story, and that Anakin's past on Tatooine should be erased. As Kylo sped off with purpose and determination, Vinay used his comlink and warned Gardulla that Kylo was coming and that he was angry. As Kylo arrived at the fortress, a guard threatened him to leave as two mounted Rancors stood behind him. Kylo quickly ignited his lightsaber and hurled it at the guard as it thrust into his chest with incredible force. As Kylo leapt into the air, he was able to kill both Rancors with efficiency and ease. Kylo then entered the throne room. The Hutt told Kylo that she expects to pay him back after the death of her two Rancors. Kylo brushed her off and asked if the Hutt was indeed Gardulla. "I am," the Hutt said. Gardulla then asked Kylo if he was there to stop her from reclaiming her former glory on Tatooine. "I am not here because of what you do," Kylo replied. "I am here because of something you did." As Gardulla then realized Kylo was there for revenge, he revealed that she had once owned his grandfather when he was a young boy. The Hutt then asked for the man's name, but Kylo said his name does not matter. The past dies. That is all that matters. As Kylo ignited his unstable saber yet again, he stated that he will tell his own story, and Gardulla would not be part of it. The Hutt then ordered her guards to apprehend Kylo, and the grandson of Vader easily reflected the blaster bolts as he slashed through each of them with a heavy stroke. Suddenly, Kylo's lightsaber is dragged from his hands as the creature that now held Kylo's lightsaber stated that the Force was weak with him. Without having the chance to counterattack, Kylo is suddenly flung through the air with force as Gardulla revealed that after Jabba's death, she made sure to have precautions against Force sensitives. "You came here because you didn't like your grandfather's story and thought you could kill the past. It's not that easy," the Hutt said. Kylo is immediately knocked out as Gardulla states that the truth is Kylo's grandfather's story is now his story too, as Kylo is eventually strung up with bruises covering his entire body. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please like and subscribe. And remember, the Force will be with you, always.